What is grass-fed whey protein? To address the question, we must first dive into what is grass-fed whey protein. There is nothing more organic than Ireland's grass-fed dairy farms. Before the word organic became associated with food labels or U.S. regulatory bodies, it was synonymous with Irish grass-fed dairy. Our planet's architect got it right the first time. Cows are ruminants by design. Ruminant digestive systems, purposefully, are built to ferment plant-based foods for nutrition extraction. Dairy cattle are extraordinary animals. Their bodies possess the unique ability to convert organic plant life into milk, rich in fat, and loaded with proteins and macronutrients. It may not be the most popular point of view. Still, history shows that humanity, with our insatiable desire for abundance, is the force that has pushed alternative diets onto one of our planet's most precious resources, cows. As the progression away from grass-fed natural diets continues for our dairy cattle, macronutrient concentrations within available milk supplies continue to decline, which is not good for our bodies. Visit link in description for a great grass-fed whey protein source. Grass-fed whey versus standard whey. Whey protein originates from bovine milk. To fully appreciate why there is such a huge difference in the nutrient content of a standard mass-produced plastic tub of whey today compared to an authentic grass-fed whey, let's run through a brief history. Sadly, most production decisions that impact animal welfare are rooted in supply and demand economic theory. In this case, since dairy became a commodity for trading post-World War II, farmers in the USA became incentivized to produce a milk supply to feed the United States and many countries worldwide. During the last half of the 1940s, the United States was sitting on a massive surplus of nitrogen in dire need of repurposing. War was no longer driving demand for the continued production of weapons and ammunition. With a landfill mentality, the initial thought was to bury the chemicals. At this time, however, an agricultural solution presented itself in the form of a crop that consumes vast quantities of nitrogen well above and beyond green grassland's demand. This nitrogen-consuming crop is corn. From grass-fed to corn and grain-fed, from bombs to fertilizers, nitrogen found a new use in agriculture. At this point, with corn and grain in utter abundance, therefore wildly cheap, the pastureland grass diet suddenly became the less feasible cattle feed option. Coming off the long and stagnant Great Depression and entering massive population growth fueled by the economic boom of wartime created the perfect storm. As the relationship between supply and demand dictates, as populations grow, the need for milk consumption also grows. Just like the GMOs, genetically modified organisms, created to make the flesh of fruits fuller at the sacrifice of taste, nutrient-rich grain unnaturally pushes the limits of a dairy cow's physical well-being to produce more milk, thus greatly forfeiting quality. Nutrient-rich grain feed pushes the animal's milk production to a state that is no longer natural. The truth is, despite the 70% fewer dairy cattle in the United States today versus the 1940s, the U.S. produces over 200% more milk today than it did in 1940. You might be thinking, how the heck is that even possible? In 2 words, it was made possible by the grain-fed Holstein. Visit the description for a great grass-fed whey protein option. We would love to hear from you. Have a great day.